Good morning, YouTube. JT Serenity Farms prepping here. Actually, it's noon, but as you can see, our second snowfall of the year, about 3 inches. It's pretty warm out right now in the 35, 36 range. It's nice snow, perfect for snowballs, and it's supposed to get up in the 40s the next few days, so be a here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. It's time to feed the goats, and I thought I'd take you for a walk with me and run something by you that occurred to me after I had a farm tragedy a few days ago. So let me get back to you in a minute. Okay, so as you know, I have goats and I have chickens. I don't know about you guys, but I don't quite treat the goats and the chickens the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, I treat them all well. That's not what I mean. I guess we should say I'm not attached to the chickens like I am to the goats. Well, 18 months ago, Molly, the big one on the end here, if you remember my video, Mama battles the the air cord to my compressor. She had triplets, and 2 of them are right there just to the left of the tree. Well, that would be Abe and Peanut, and there was Miss Claire. Miss Claire was shunned right from the beginning because nature tells us what we can and cannot do, and especially with animals, Mama had to make a decision. Whether she knew she couldn't feed 3 or for another reason, she chose not to mother Claire. So within 6 hours, I was bottle feeding Miss Claire 3 times a day for 6 or 8 weeks. She grew quite accustomed to seeing me coming because she knew what I was bringing, and she was quite the little character. Would bring her out of the pen, let her run around. She was just like a little puppy dog, actually. Well, just a few weeks into that process of bottle feeding, she had a door fall on her, and we discovered her with her back left leg swinging in the breeze. I can't even imagine the pain she was in. Animals don't display it quite like us humans do. So I took her to the vet, and they put a cast on her, and she just ran around with that peg leg on there. You'd never know. I had to take her back once to put a bigger cast on, and then eventually the cast came off, and besides a little stiffness now and then, you'd never know. But she was still kind of my favorite. Last week, she started to act a little funny, eating very slowly. Her 2 back legs kind of hunched up like she was ready to take off. The other goats would push her around now and then, but it was off. You can tell, you know. So we called the vet, and the vet came out to see her and took a stool sample and checked her eyes, checked her gums, thought everything looked pretty good, took the stool sample back, gave her a shot of B12 and a couple other vitamins. So I fed them all at noon, and headed into town, and I come back and she was laying flat out in the pen like a horse, not like goats do. They lay all curled up, contorted. I called her name, she picked her head up, and she couldn't hold it up. And so I called the vet. I'm wondering what's going on. She said bring her inside, lay her down, make her comfortable, keep her warm, give her some Safeguard, some dewormer. This was at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hi, Charlotte. What are you doing? No biting. So I petted her. She literally couldn't move, and went out every 2 hours to check on her. And about 9:30 I went out and she had passed away. Vet came back up the next day, did some simple tests on her, examined all the other goats, and I didn't want to do an autopsy if I didn't have to. I didn't know how hard it was going to hit me when she passed away. But that night, we buried her out and back with a couple other old dogs that had passed. I gave her a nice cross with a little ribbon, and the manly man I am was not really in display that evening, I'm here to tell you, and not ashamed to say. I don't know what happened, but what it's all leading to is we all have animals as preppers. You know, we consider those animals part of the overall prepping plan. I never considered these goats as meat. I kept the females for milk. Now I'm wondering, what the hell I'm doing. I honestly don't know at this time if I had to. What I would do. Okay, there it is. I thought it turned off. I'm wondering what you all think. Have you thought about the what ifs with your animals? Just a thought for the day. Not a good one, but one that probably has to be entertained. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for today. I'm with it. Just figured I would share that. So, like, share, subscribe, comment, little notification bell. But for now, JT, signing off.